Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, and it's that time again. It's Rob's Roundtable, and got some good questions again. I'll start off with the first one. Can I describe my meals for the day? Yeah, certainly. So basically, I in the mornings now because I've expressed before that I describe my eating as intentional eating, and it's nothing fancy. It's just basically I intentionally eat for what I'm going to do that particular day. At the moment, I'm working out 6 to 7 days a week, and therefore I will make a drink for the morning, which will be my pre-workout. And I never used to have this, but now I'm doing a strength cycle, going through a strength cycle. I'm trying to add in more calories, and I mentioned this, I think it was last week or the week before, is that I've added calories for around my workouts. Okay, which means now I'm having a drink before and I'm having some food straight afterwards before my breakfast. So what does that look like? My mornings now, okay, which I make the night before, will be 100 milliliters of whole milk, be a banana, some honey, and a couple of dates. Okay, I'll whiz that up and I'll have that in the fridge ready to go with my morning coffee. I mix it and it is an absolute, it's lovely. Okay, it's really sweet and that will serve me. I'll drink it on the way to the gym, and really, really good. Okay, and it's easy to digest as well. And obviously you can see there's sugars in that, and that's going to fuel my workout for that day. When I come back, I'll have flapjacks, which I'm making quite a lot at the moment, and that is amazing. And I'll have a couple of slices of that. So altogether, that's added in around 800 calories with the drink as well, which I never was having before. But like I say, I wasn't training for strength before as such, where this is 100% pure strength cycle at the minute. For breakfast, I'll wait for my wife and child to wake up, and I'll have something along the lines of eggs, egg whites, beef, with rice and vegetables with some berries on the side. I won't obviously have all that, but it tends to be those foods. Well, I'll mix and match it, and it's a little bit of a variety for me, depending on how I feel on that particular day. Then I'll have typically in the afternoon, so around about 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'll have some rice, some beef or turkey, and that will be enough to get me through till dinner. And I'll have again some rice, some potato, some chicken, or some beef. And then for a snack, I say a snack before bed. It's probably more volume in this snack than most people's food dinner, but tend to be like a Greek yogurt bowl. So Greek yogurt, banana, blueberries, coconuts, almond butter, or some nuts maybe, and that's typically my everyday meals. I don't. I mean, I love my food. I don't really need such a variety that other people do, but I tend to have my protein sources, my carb sources, my fat sources, and I'll mix and match around that. Which brings me on to my next question. How do you go about doing your meal prep? Do I prep one day of the week for the whole week or something else? So you can tell by those meals I've had, like I say, I have my carb sources, protein and fat sources. So my carb sources, 99% of the time, come from rice and potatoes, okay, white or sweet. And when I cook those, I'll cook those in bulk. Okay, and that will be enough for a few days. Okay, where I'll repeat the process when it runs out. My protein sources. So when I cook chicken, I'll do that for several meals. So I typically get from Asda, where I shop most of the time, but I do shop at other supermarkets as well. But I'll typically get something like 1.5 to 2 kilograms of chicken, and I'll cook that in bulk, and that will last me obviously for several meals or several days, depending on whether I'm if I'm going to have those for a couple of days, or whether my wife or child wants them. Sometimes if they don't want that, then obviously I'll have more meals from that. But if they want to have that, which they're more than welcome to, or if I have a friend come over, then they'll have some of that as well, which they're welcome to. It just means obviously that I'll have less of it. So breakfast I never cook in bulk, although I'll have rice, okay, for my post-workout, and my drink. I have pre-workout and my post-workout flapjack. Then obviously they're ready-made, so I meal prep those in a couple of days before I have them. I say a couple of days, sorry, the flapjack I do, the shakes I make every day for the next morning. So that's how I go about doing that. Meal prep wise, I don't ever meal prep my evening snack, my yogurt bowl, because obviously it's just so easy to do there and then. But beef, I try not to pre-cook it, but sometimes I do, depending on what I'm making with it. It's just beef mince. I don't particularly like it when it goes, when I cook it and it goes cold. It just dries up a little bit. But I do have it sometimes if I'm going out, obviously for the day, then obviously I will pre-cook that and have that on the road. But yeah, hope that answers the first two questions. Another question, what's my worst injury in the gym? I'll be honest with you, I haven't really ever injured myself per se in the gym. Now I have hurt myself through years of wear and tear. So for example now, and this will probably be my worst, I say injury, because it didn't happen just on one occasion. It's happened over years and years and years of wear and tear from working out, and that's tendonitis in both my elbows. I've actually had a scan on my left elbow, I think it was, which a little bit of the tendon's worn away, or it may have been cartilage worn away, sorry. And yeah, it doesn't really stop me from doing anything, but sometimes it flares up and it's just a little bit sore, which means that I can't do certain movements in the gym, but it's more than manageable, so it's not a big deal. But that's my only really injury. I mean, I can't really think of any other time I've hurt myself in the gym. Maybe dropping a weight on my foot. I do remember doing that on my toe. But I wouldn't necessarily say that's an injury. But yeah, that's probably my worst thing from the gym is my tendonitis. Another question, what supplements are the best ones to take? Well, if I was to be honest, I've always seen supplements as food supplements and not supplements for foods. So the answer to your question, what supplements are the best ones to take? Well, what are you deficient in? What are you not getting from your foods? Okay, I'm a big proponent in getting your nutrition from whole foods. I'm not saying I never take supplements or I never, have things like shakes or anything like that. But I typically, 99% of my meals, as I say, I've already described what I eat on a daily basis, come from whole foods. So therefore, I know what I'm getting from it. So the supplements I take are typically things like omega-3s. I don't have an awful lot of fish, although I do have omega-3s in egg yolks, but it's not sufficient enough for what you need on a daily basis. So I'll take an omega-3. Creatine's a good one. So I do take creatine. That's probably one of the best supplements I think that most people could take, depending obviously on your goals, because this is, as I say, this is quite a hard question to answer, because you need to consider your goals as well as what you're deficient in from what you're not having from your foods. So that's the way I do. What supplements do I take? And this is what you should do, is find out what you're not getting from your foods. Okay, almost do an analysis of your diet, and then get obviously those supplements that you're deficient in. Otherwise, I'd say creatine would probably be the one of the best ones to take overall, and I suppose a protein powder as well. What is the best broker to use for investing? Great question. So the best thing to do is evaluate how exactly you want to invest. because every broker they have like kind of deals with, if you're investing multiple times per month, then your charges will come down as a consequence. But if you're only going to invest once or twice a month, or maybe even less than that, then you may want to go to a different broker that charge maybe more, okay, for individual transactions, but then they'll have a less of a charge for management fees. And that's where, as I say, a lot of brokers have certain deals depending on how you're going to trade or invest. Okay, so Hargreaves and Lansdowne is the one I use. Okay, I think I always call it Hargreaves and Lansdowne. It's Hargreaves Lansdowne, but they charge less management fee but more individual transactions. And if you do, I think it's 10 times a month trade or buy and sell stock, then their transaction fee comes down. And so you've got to pick and choose exactly how you are going to use your broker, and then assess the broker that charges well for how you're going to trade or invest. Okay, the more you trade, then you typically will probably veer towards a broker that charges less per transaction, but then quite often they will hike up their management fee due to being less, charging less for transactions. Okay, so best broker is, well, I wouldn't say there's a best broker for everybody, okay, but there will be a best broker to how you're going to trade or invest. Okay. So another question, I want to start investing but worried about a market collapse, okay, or losing money in the markets, which is what they are constantly hearing in some type of media. The honest answer is, if you're going to be worried about a market collapse or market dropping down, then maybe investing isn't for you. And because markets do go up, markets do go down, that's guaranteed. Okay, no market is ever going to go up, ever going to go down. It's not always going to go up, and it's not always going to go down. Okay, it will be somewhat volatile. How volatile depends obviously on the economy and certain other aspects. Okay, but I would be very wary about using investing if you are constantly going to have an emotional reaction to market volatility, because it's going to happen. As I say, markets go up, markets go down. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. But this is where, if you look at the principles of someone like Warren Buffett, where he says, he calls it Mr. Market, where market serves a purpose, and if you're constantly going to be reacting to every single piece of market news, then it's not for you. You've got to somewhat drown out the noise of everyday market news. I'm not saying don't read it, because obviously you want to be aware of what's going on. But for example, if you buy into a company, let's take Amazon, for example. If you're going to invest into Amazon, obviously the share price is going to go up, it's going to go down, but sometimes it's going to go up quite high, sometimes it's going to drop quite low. But if you're in it for the long term, then you don't need to know, what's going to happen with Amazon share price every single day. You need to drown that out, because there's going to be brokers bringing out forecasts, there's going to be brokers bringing out recommendations, and the market reacts to that type of news. But I mean, price is what you pay, value is what you get, is another Warren Buffett saying, and that is a great saying, because if you see value in a company, okay, because you're investing into it, okay, then you don't need to worry about what's happening every day. Just literally invest your money into that company's shares and leave it until something comes up. Like, for example, the Amazon, if they bring out a piece of news that their business has gone down for a particular reason, or they're shutting a part of the business, then obviously that kind of news might be more pertinent to know, because it could change the fundamentals of why you invested into that business. Okay, JD Sports, for example, okay, they're heavily reliant on contracts with Adidas and Nike. So if they lose one of those, then obviously that will change your reasons of why you may have invested into that company. Okay, you believe that they're going to do well in the long run if they lose a contract, but that fundamentally changes that business. Okay, and they're going to lose a lot of profit from that contract loss. Okay, so I would recommend, okay, basically, if you want to start investing, okay, literally get yourself almost like a diary, okay, and put your intentions of how you are going to manage your portfolio. Okay, you've got a strategy, stick with it. Don't chop and change it, okay, unless something really drastically changes, okay, in your situation or where you're investing situation, and stick with it, okay. Don't chop and change it, as I say, unless something fundamentally changes, okay. But if you're, as I say, if you're worried about market collapsing, okay, or going to listen to the media every single day of what's going on, then maybe it's not for you, okay. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, and that's it, guys. So nice, short and sweet one. So hopefully I've answered your questions. Sorry if I've got a little bit of a raspy voice, feeling a little bit under the weather today. So obviously, if I haven't answered your questions, or you want to ask me anything else, you're more than welcome to do so. Guys, have a great rest of the weekend. Apparently the weather's good, so let's get outside, get some air and enjoy it. Okay, so guys, all the best, take care, see you soon.